Okay, so no teams are doing collective training at the moment, but I think everyone wants to stay in shape for whenever things do resume some sort of normality and teams get back training collectively. Now, the first thing to say is I'm not an S&C coach, but I think there's probably a lot of players out there who are probably a little bit unsure about their warm-up. Now, what I'm going to do is a warm-up that kind of works for me. I would encourage people straight away to come in with your own comments, let me know what you think would be a good suggestion, what you do, anything like that. So I'm just going to jump straight into it and start off with the hips, because definitely for an older player like myself, this is one that definitely causes a nice bit of hassle for me. So be getting into a position like this, feet shoulder width apart, and sort of make sure there's enough space between the two legs. Sort of fold one knee into the ground and keep the other leg straight, then back out, then take turns on the other side. These are hip rolling them in and rolling them out. So and then eventually you build up to a stage where you're doing this over and back, and you can sort of feel your back maybe click or loosen up a small bit. Next thing then would be the next hip one that I would do is just sort of lean forward like that. You can feel it there in your hip. Sort of lean over to the side as well to get that extra bit of purchase. A little bit on both sides. Obviously when you're warming up, you wouldn't be holding the stretch for as long to lengthen out the muscle. You just want to warm it up a little bit, so just a little bit like that. Next one then would be the groin. So I'm carrying a bit of, well, any amount of injuries at the moment, definitely some legacy ones, so there's a few parts of the warm-up that I can't do myself, which is why I'd be looking for suggestions of what you do. So for the groin, just lean across like this and I'd be sort of warming that up and maybe bouncing in and back maybe for 6 or 8, something like that. Left side I have a hamstring tendon injury, so I probably wouldn't be going as deep in this side. Next one then, calves. I think this is a basic one that everyone sort of does, so just sort of bounce on them for maybe 10 and maybe a couple of sets of that. Then the swinging legs from side to side. Again, I have a little bit of limitation in terms of injury here, so you'd probably do this with a partner, hold on to them and over and back, but of course obviously with social distancing at the moment, maybe hold onto a pole, or even if you're playing hurling, just leave out the hurley and lift your leg up and back, and then obviously you can go that way as well. So again, my injury I'm not really going to do with the left side. We'll work into the band work then. Now this is a huge part of all sorts of warm-ups, definitely ones that I've done the past few years. My mic connection is in the way there a small bit, so you might forgive me that one. I'm going to start off with glute bridges. Definitely a very, very important one for warming up the glutes. You're going to get most of your speed out of the old hind quarters, so a huge one to do. So I'll probably start off just lying down and the double-legged glute bridge. Now my form mightn't always be perfect because of injuries, and then into the, actually sorry, you're supposed to have the bands above the knees. Yeah, as I said, not an S&C coach. And then sort of flatten out the back every time from the bottom, and then the same with the single leg ones. So very good way to warm them up. Next thing you'll be doing then is the monster walks. Now these are a perfect way to look like an absolute clown when you're warming up, but they're very good for warming up again the glutes, that sort of thing. So exaggerated sort of walks. You'd probably do 8 forward, 8 back, or 2 sets of 4 each way, and then we'll do them side to side, so pushing from the hind leg, as it were. So I'm sure there's plenty, like for most of my sort of club career I didn't know how to warm up properly, and there's probably times I didn't play matches simply because I didn't foam roll or know to foam roll at the time. So this sort of stuff is huge. Next one then is actually just this one. I don't know the names of some of them, but it's not particularly difficult. And as I said, this is for people who, you know, while people aren't training collectively, it's a case of just having some little framework and seeing a couple of simple things that anyone can do at home. So yeah, the hamstring one is pretty simple enough one. As I said, left side I can't really do that at the moment, but just simply lean over it, 5 seconds, stop, 5 seconds again. Another good one for warming up the glutes and the hamstring is the RDL. So you might do maybe 5 of those, that sort of thing. And then back mobility. This is definitely a a struggle for me. A lot of back sciatica. So get over in this sort of position, put that left arm down in front of you, tuck that arm up there around, and stretch up and try and keep the rest of your body locked down. You're only trying to move that right arm up, try and get up as far as possible, and even go a second time like that, just to do it more towards the camera. See, I'm trying to keep the hips in place and the right arm in place, and just move up the left, and you can sort of feel it up along the back there. Also, as I said, back issues. So one I sort of do, if you want to loosen out your back a small bit, normally I'd hold on to something, but just fold across like that, and you'd often feel a pop in your back. So that would be most of what I'd do. Probably, as I said, if I had an S&C coach here, I'd probably be doing a couple of more things, but I already feel nicely loosened up after that. So let me know what you do and what you think is most beneficial to you. If you have sort of the likes of hamstring tendon injury like I have, or whatever injury you have, let me know what you do to try and get around those limiting factors. Thanks for watching our game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.